Hey, it's Dave with FlipperForce House Flipping Software, and I'm here to share our new update on the new project duplication functionality that we added to our software platform. So the next time you log in and you see your projects dashboard here, which has a listing of all of your active projects that you have in your account, you'll see a new action column. And in that action column, you've got a couple new action items that you can do for each of your projects in here. So you can see you've got duplicate project or delete projects. So the new duplicate project functionality allows you to completely duplicate an entire project in a matter of seconds. So this can be useful if you want to run multiple analysis scenarios on a property. So for example, on this the bat house project, if we want to run a worst case scenario, we can just duplicate that real quick. We can go into this copy of the bat house here. We're going to change this and let's just say worst case scenario. Okay, so now we've set up a completely new project. It's already got all of our project information in here because we just duplicated the project. But now we can set up a worst case scenario flip analysis. So we've got our initial baseline information in here of what we thought would happen on a baseline scenario. Now we can go in and we can edit it to show and reflect a worst case scenario. So let's say that we think that in a worst case scenario we'll sell it for $325, so $25,000 less than what our baseline is. We could go in and we could adjust the purchase price, the repair costs, all of the buying costs, holding costs, selling costs, financing costs to set up that worst case scenario and then calculate the profit of what that would be in a worst case scenario. So that's one of the ways that you can benefit from the new project duplication is you can simply use that to quickly and easily duplicate a project so that way you can run multiple analysis scenarios. Another thing that you can do is you can set up a master template. So the master template can be a project that has all of your common tasks and project settings pre-set up in that template that you can easily duplicate, so that way everything's pre-set up for you. So what I mean by that is you can set up all of your project settings for all of the different tools that we have in here. So I guess for example you could go into the flip analyzer and you could set up all of your different project settings for the flip analysis. So I guess for example if we want to go over to the buying cost section, you can see you could set up your brokerage fee, your inspection fee, your title costs and stuff like that for your buying costs. You could set up all of your common holding costs that you've got for holding the property. You could set up all of your selling costs that you have for selling the property. Same thing with the financing costs. You could set up how you finance your deal. So if you're an all-cash investor, you could just have that selected. If you use financing, you could have all of your predetermined settings preloaded in here for yourself. Same thing with the profit. If you've got a certain desired profit that you want to make on the deal, you can have that preloaded in there as well. So that way when you go to analyze the deal, basically all you'd have to do is go back over to the projects dashboard. You would duplicate this master template and all of those flip analysis settings would already be preset up for you. Same thing with the repair estimator. So you could go in and you could set up all of your work items in the estimator, all of your categories, all of your prices. So I guess for example, if you do a lot of properties where maybe you're doing a gut rehab, where a lot of times you'll always do exterior painting on the property, you're always going to be replacing a few windows, you're always going to be replacing the exterior doors on the property, maybe you're always going to be doing a kitchen or a bathroom, or always redoing the flooring and painting the interiors. Well, you can set up all of those common categories and even have the quantities set up in there as well. So then all you really have to do is go through and tweak those quantities. But this will allow you to basically have an estimate pre-built for yourself for that project. So when you just duplicate that project, you'll basically have an estimate pre-built for that project. Same thing for the task manager. So you can set up pre-built checklists. So that's what I would recommend, is if you've got some common tasks that you have for each stage of the flip, you can go in and you can set up all these different checklists, and then those will duplicate when you duplicate the project as well. So if you've got common tasks such as schedule a walkthrough for the property, submit an offer, send an earnest money deposit, stuff like that, you can have those checklists pre-built for yourself on the task manager. So again, when you go over to duplicate that project, all of those tasks will be pre-built for you and preloaded in with that project that's been duplicated. Same thing with the project scheduler. If you've got a common order of operations that you use for all of your projects, you can preset that up in a project schedule, and then when you go over to the project duplication and you duplicate the project, it'll automatically be set up for you with your common list of schedule items that you have in your scheduler. So that's how you can use that project duplication and the master template. It's going to be a very powerful tool for you if you want to take the time to set up a master template that has everything pre-built in that specific project. Then what you can do is you can just go over here and you can say duplicate project. Okay, so now you can see we've got a copy of the master template. Now we can go into that project, rename it to whatever it needs to be. Okay, and now all of our other stuff and information is going to be pre-built in there for us. So if we go over to the Flip Analyzer, that data and information will be there that has our project settings pre-built. We can go in and we can edit it. Same thing with the estimator. It'll have all of our estimate information in there that we had saved with that project template, and then we can just go in there and tweak it. So I guess, for example, if roofing needed to be tweaked, maybe this one only has 18 squares of roofing. Well, now we can just adjust that pretty quickly. Same thing with exterior painting. If this property is a little bit smaller, maybe we've got 1,500 square feet that needs to be painted. Well, now we've got basically a checklist. Everything's already plugged in there for us. We just need to adjust some of the quantities, adjust our estimate, and then we can just move on from there. Same thing with our tasks. Now we've got all of our task lists. They're already pre-built for us in here. We've already got a schedule set up in here for us as well. So again, hopefully you can see that this is a pretty powerful tool that can help you completely build out a complete template project for yourself in a matter of seconds instead of having to recreate the wheel every single time you start a new project. So I guess if you have any questions on the new project duplication, please let me know.